Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna dye some of my clothes. If this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, my name's Rachel and I like to make stuff here. And since I've mostly been sewing lately, you should expect to see a little bit of personal style chit chat here too. Alright, so yesterday morning I woke up and I rolled out of bed and I put on this sweatshirt. I wear this sweatshirt all the time. It's just like a really neutral, big, comfy sweatshirt. And I always feel the same way in it whenever I put it on, which is dead looking, kind of a little bit washed out. First, it's too cool toned for my complexion. Even though it's just like this kind of grayish taupe color, it's a lot cooler than my skin tone is, so it just doesn't really go with my skin tone or my hair especially. And whenever I put it on, I feel like I need to put makeup on or else I just look really lifeless. Like it just kind of sucks all the life out of my face. So I was wearing it around the house yesterday. I figured it would be fun to dye this sweatshirt a color that would be more flattering on me and would encourage me to wear this more like out. I usually only wear this at the house, but it's one of my comfiest sweatshirts I have. So in case you haven't heard, I do have a full color season video where I go through the whole process of trying to figure out my color season. I'll have it linked for you guys. And basically the gist of that video is that I think that I am an autumn. And during that video, I thought that I was a soft autumn. And then since that video, I really have paid a lot more attention to specifically which autumn colors look best on me and what I feel the best in. And I've come to find out that the more saturated autumn colors actually make me feel my best. So this sweatshirt, while it is a little bit too cool for my skin tone, it is also a little bit too light for me too. So I think if I am going to be dyeing this, I want to keep it in the tan family, but I do want to make it a little bit warmer and more saturated. So maybe just like a little bit darker or a little bit more vibrant. So since I will be dyeing this sweatshirt, I actually went through a couple of my drawers and picked out a few other things that I don't feel super great in, but are staples in my wardrobe just because they're like basic t-shirts and stuff. And I figured that it would be fun to include those in this video too. So I am going to be dyeing this little stack of clothes too. So I can show you guys what I have here. I have this black and white striped t-shirt. Now this is like a really pure white. It's like a bright white and it's just like a little bit too cool toned on my skin, but also since I'm not in like the winter or the spring category either, this is like just, both of these are two of like the worst colors on me. I'm gonna keep the black on it. I do like black, but I think that I'm going to make this, I'm gonna try to make it off-white. So I still have to kind of figure out how that's gonna work, but I wanna make this an off-white or even like a light beige or something. Same goes for this white t-shirt. So this is just a long sleeve white t-shirt. It has like kind of, I don't know if you can see it, kind of like a heathery texture to it, but I'm also gonna try to make this off-white. I think that I'll wear them more and I'll style them more than just wearing them around the house if they're a color that feels good on me. And then I have this shirt right here. So I actually have a shirt just like this. Let me show you. Okay, so I have this shirt right here, another just like plain long sleeve t-shirt, and it's in this mauve color. I don't think this is the worst color on me ever. I'd say this is probably like a soft summer color, same with this sweatshirt. But since I don't really think I'm a soft autumn, I don't think I can borrow soft summer colors as much as I thought that I could. But this is probably like a soft summer color. And this is fine on me, but I think that it could be a little bit better. And I have this shirt that I kind of can show you as an example. So this shirt is almost the same shirt, but it is like a little bit warmer color. So you can see it goes so much better with my hair color than this sweatshirt does. If this sweatshirt were to turn out this color, I'd be really happy, but I'm not gonna be dyeing this. I just kind of wanted to show an example of this color next to a warmer color, because if I hold this up, you can't really tell like how cool it is, but when you have it next to a warmer color, you can. So yeah, I don't really know what color this is going to turn out. I do think that I'm just gonna kind of put this in some gold dye or something. I don't think I'm gonna bleach it or anything. It might turn out really ugly. So yeah, I don't know what this is gonna turn out like, but we'll find out. Last but not least, figured this wouldn't be a super exciting video unless there was bleach involved. So we're gonna be bleaching a black t-shirt. So this is just a little crop top t-shirt. I wear this like to the gym. I wear it with high-waisted jeans for like taking my daughter to the park and stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of like this little boxy tee. And I'm going to bleach this. I don't know what color it's going to turn out once I bleach it. I'm guessing it'll be kind of like that orangey pink that usually happens when you dye black. It depends on what the pigments are like in this, because I can also see it kind of has like a blue tint to it too, so it could kind of go blue. So this is gonna kind of be a wild card, so I think I'll probably wait until this is bleached to decide what color I'm going to make it. Now, one important thing about all of the things that I'm gonna be dyeing is that they're all 100% cotton. So I know that there are dyes for synthetic fibers too, but I just kind of wanted to keep it simple so that I could dye all of these kind of at the same time. So I'm not going to be super picky about making all of these fit into the true autumn subseason, because I don't have full control over the exact tone that all of them are going to end up at. But our primary goal today is to make each of these things either warmer or more muted, or both. So yesterday my daughter and I went and picked up some fabric dye, and I'll show you guys what we got. So I got a few different fabric dyes. I got these ones in the powder form and then this one in liquid form. First, I've got dark green, and then I have a denim blue. This kind of looked like a little bit warmer blue. And then I did get a scarlet, which I think is going to be like a true red scarlet. I feel like I'm gonna be mixing some of these together to kind of get more muted earthy tones. And then in the liquid, I got marigold, which I think is just kind of more of a mustard yellow. So these are all the fabric dyes I got. And then for making like the off-white or tan fabric dyes, I have read a little bit about tea dyeing, and I have some Earl Grey tea, just a bunch of these little tea bags. So I'll probably put these in some water. I'll show you guys how to do that. I've never done any tea dyeing before, so this is gonna be kind of an experiment. I'll probably dye just the plain white shirt first to kind of get an idea of how long I should keep them in for. And I'll probably use tea dye for this sweatshirt mixed with like maybe a couple drops of this just to make it a little bit warmer. So hopefully that turns out well. I can't imagine that it would turn out worse than this color. I think that if I were to add even some depth to this sweatshirt, and if it happens to like stay the same tone, just having a little bit more saturation to this color could actually make it more wearable for me. So if the tea dyeing does go well and I'm able to achieve like a nice off-white color, I have a pair of pants that I'm wearing right now. These are just some white like wide leg high-waisted jeans, and they're super white. I do like the color of like the off-white button and everything, and I would really like it if these pants were just slightly off-white. If I could just tone down the brightness of these jeans, then I think that they would be perfect. All right, well, let's start dyeing some stuff. All right, so right now I am just opening up a bunch of tea bags. And I did remember while I was doing this, another thing that I wanted to mention, I have also heard of turmeric dyeing. I do have turmeric and I thought about doing it. It produces like a really bright yellow stain on clothing. The only reason I'm not doing that is because I've heard that it's not color fast, meaning it is going to wash out over time, which is totally fine. I think that the tea dyeing will also lighten up quite a bit over time too. But the issue with turmeric is that it can also transfer onto other clothing. So I don't want to have to wash all this stuff separately, and I definitely don't want to stain all my other clothes yellow too, which is why I got this marigold color, because I'm not going to be using the turmeric, and I'm guessing it's about the same color as the turmeric. So I don't know how many tea bags I have here. I am going to make a really concentrated version of this dye so that I can split it into a couple different containers, so I can have one for dyeing this sweatshirt and then one for dyeing things off-white. All right, so I have I've got 20 tea bags here. So now that the water is pretty much boiling, I'm just gonna pop these all in there. So once those are all in, I'm just gonna let this steep for a while. So let's go over to the bleach water. So I've already put a couple capfuls of bleach in here. We are going to put gloves on. That is like rule number one of using bleach. I'm just gonna kind of try to submerge it fully. I know that this probably won't turn out super even, and that's totally fine with me. I kind of really like that more worn and uneven look anyway, so I'm just gonna kind of soak this for a little bit. I don't really know how quickly this is gonna work or how stubborn this color is. If you did want to do this with something that you actually care about and you had a specific goal in mind, I would definitely do a spot test. I am really up to any outcome, so I don't really care. So we're just gonna let that soak, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I did something a little weird. It had been sitting for like 10 minutes and nothing changed, so I drained some of the water out, and then I sprayed a little bit of bleach just on top of it. I don't think that's enough, so I think I am gonna just kind of dump a little bit more bleach on top. I do want some of the areas kind of poking out of the water. That's a lot of bleach. I just wanted to make it a little bit uneven, because I do like that more worn look. I am starting to see some of the pigment left out of it. You see like the water is starting to get a little bit more brown. So that kind of tells me that this is going to turn out kind of like an orangey color. So who knows, maybe I won't even want to add any other fabric dye to it. All right, I'm definitely starting to see some color lift out kind of around the shoulders up here. You can definitely see some of the color is draining out. Just kind of moving it around. Maybe I should be more gentle with it. I don't know. I know the bleach makes fibers kind of fragile, so maybe I should chill with the agitation. All right, so I just rinsed this out, and here is what it's looking like while still soaking wet. So you can tell it definitely has more of like I mean, it's brown now, but it definitely has a lot of orange tones to it, which I really love. It's gonna be a lot lighter than this once it fully dries, but we won't really know what that's like until later when I can toss it in the dryer. But that's what it's looking like right now. So I initially thought that I was going to bleach this a lot more than this. I thought that I was gonna do just like straight bleach on it and try to get it as light as I possibly could so that I could dye it green or something. But I think I'm just gonna really like it like this. And as you can see, it's definitely not perfectly even. I won't really know how even it is until it's dry. But already this looks a little bit better on me than the black does. I'm really excited to see what this looks like. So, okay, moving on. It's only been, let's see, it's been like 45 minutes since I initially started this. And then I did heat up some water to really hot right here. And this is the shirt that's going to be going into this pot. So I think I am gonna add a little bit of this red to the marigold color, and we'll see how that turns out. I think it'd be cool if this kind of turned out like a reddish orangey color. I feel like all of these things are going to end up either brown or orange, but I'm totally okay with that. I bought blue and green dyes thinking that I was gonna do something with those, but those will probably be for future projects. So let's get started with this. I'm going to add the 2 quarts of water I have in here to here, and then I'm just gonna try to like fit as much water in here as possible. I'm not going to be following the instructions perfectly. I think the instructions on the package are for if you want to achieve the exact color as it described on the package, and we don't really care about that, so we're going to just be kind of winging it a little bit. I'm gonna add more water to this. So since this is not even a full gallon, I'm just going to use like a quarter of this bottle, maybe. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle the scarlet red in. Yeah, definitely. Like if I stick my finger in it, it's more of like a crimson red. So it's definitely a cooler toned red. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that in there. Fun fact, in middle school, I got super into tie-dyeing. I wanted to tie-dye everything. I tie-dyed most of the white clothes in my wardrobe, and I wore tie-dye all the time. So I have dyed a lot of fabric before, so I know that you can never fully anticipate what it's going to turn out like, and that's totally fine. I feel like that is part of the fun of dyeing clothes. All right, so I have a paper towel here. Really no way of telling what color this is. It's just so dark in here. Ooh, that is bright orange. Okay, so this is the color that it's looking like right now. And I think that over this could be really pretty. You know what, we're just gonna go for it. It's always a good idea to get clothes wet if you're trying to dye them more evenly. So I'm gonna go get this wet really quick just so it takes the dye a little bit better. All right. I'm just gonna kind of wiggle this around in here. All right, I'm already really liking the color this is turning out as. Okay, this is gonna be good. So I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit. Be right back. Okay, so while that shirt is soaking in the dye, I am gonna bring all of these little tea bags out of here. So we have a giant pot of really concentrated Earl Grey tea. And this actually smells really good. I'm a huge fan of Earl Grey tea, so I have this right here, which is super concentrated. And then I've got this big bowl right here. So I think this is what I'm going to be using to dilute this. So I think I'm just gonna toss a little bit of this in here. Okay, so I'm gonna dilute this some. I do think I'm going to be needing to make more of this tea dye for this sweatshirt that I'm currently wearing. I am gonna get this wet again, so 1 second. Okay, I will say that I did consider just getting the tan RIT dye that you can find at the fabric store, but I didn't get it because, oh, that's like a really nice color. Okay, So I didn't get it because I have used it before and it turned out more of like a pink color. I think it's because I was using it on like a cotton blend, so it did have some polyester in it, I think, and I think it just shows up different on synthetic. Okay, well, I don't feel like I need to let this sit for any longer. I'm just going to kind of set this aside so it can kind of like sit in this stain. And then I'm going to put some more water in here because I do want to see if I can make an actual off-white. Like not a beige, but an actual off-white. So we're gonna try that. I'm sorry this isn't a super informative video. I'm not really measuring as I go, and I'm not really giving you guys clear instructions on like if you wanted to do this for yourself. But I just thought it'd be fun to take you guys along with me as I experiment. So, all right, the long sleeve white shirt, in it goes. This is gonna be kind of quick, I think. There we go, that's like a nice color. I think I just made a really good off-white. So I'm going to let this sit just with this tea on it for a while because I just don't want to rinse it out too early. I want it to really stain this shirt. All right, so now that these are just kind of chilling over here, I think that I'm gonna actually dye these. So I love these pants. These are some of my favorite like summer pants. They're from Zara. They're the Marine Straight jeans. I love how high-waisted they are, that they don't have front pockets. They're super stretchy too. And then they also have these really cute square pockets on the butt. So I do think if I can make them even a lighter color than this, I don't want them quite this like obviously off-white. I just kind of want to take a little bit of like this cool white shine off of them because they are very, very white. So I think I'm gonna even further dilute that solution over there. So I think I'm just gonna like fill it up with water completely. And then I'm gonna stick these in for just like a split second and probably rinse them out right away. So we're gonna do that right now. All right, I'm a little nervous for this one, but these are all wet now, so I'm just gonna pop them on in here. Wow, that is like the perfect amount of water there to not overflow. Okay, let me go rinse these guys. All right, so this has been soaking for about 20 minutes now, so this is the mauve shirt. So I'm gonna rinse this out. This is what it looks like right out of the bowl. So I'm just gonna keep rinsing it until it rinses clear. Okay, so something that I've noticed right away is that none of the threads dyed with the shirt. So you definitely have like some contrast stitching, which I actually don't mind, especially on this style of a shirt. If this were something that I wore kind of dressy, then I would be kind of disappointed. But for just like a casual shirt that I wear in the house or jeans and stuff, I actually think that the stitching, not dyeing, turned out pretty cool. So it is more like a contrast stitch. I've also noticed that in kind of like the heathered texture, I do think that there must be some spandex or something that didn't dye. So you do kind of have like a heathered look too. So it is going to be lighter than this when it's dry. So we'll see that tomorrow. All right, so this is the second time I've put tea bags in here. I just filled the rest of this pot, put a bunch of tea bags in it. It's been about a half hour. Okay, I'm just gonna transfer all of this into this just because it's a little bit wider. So I think we'll put the sweatshirt in. Okay, so this is now wet. So I figured I'd just put this all in the tea dye first. And then what'll happen is we can take it out and wash it and everything. And then I can decide later if I wanna add even more of like a warm tone to it. So I'm just putting this pot on top of it now to keep it submerged. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a few minutes and then I'll check back in on it and then I'm gonna see if I need to add any of the marigold color to it. Right now it's still looking kind of on the cooler side, so we'll see. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes, so I'm gonna take this out. I do think I'm gonna add a little bit of that marigold to it because it is still looking a little bit on the cooler side. I'm just gonna put a little splish splash in there. All right, so we're gonna try again. This in for round 2. Yeah, that is definitely going to be giving us that like more camel color that I'm looking for. Maybe even kind of like a mustardy color, which I love. I thought I'd be more nervous about this whole process, but I'm finding it really easy to just kind of like toss things in and see what happens. And I guess that's because I know that I'll probably like this more than was before either way. Yeah, already that's looking so much better. I could have done this in the sink. I should have done this in the sink. Oh well, this is what we're doing. I have a huge sink here, what was I thinking? So I'm just gonna let that soak for, I don't know, 15 minutes and we'll be right back. Okay, it has been 15 minutes, so we're gonna check on this. So I don't really know how dark it is. It's definitely warmer. It's definitely a warmer color. This is probably gonna end up being about as dark as it's gonna get unless I add a ton more tea, but I do really like this color. So I'm gonna go and give this a rinse. Okay, so now I have all of my dyed stuff right here. They're already looking like much more satisfying colors to me. This actually I think is gonna end up being perfect. So we are going to do a real wash on these. I might just toss all of these in together on like a quick cycle and then do the same thing with the whites too. So that's probably gonna be it for tonight, and then tomorrow everything will be dry and we can go over how everything turned out. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, you guys, it's the next day and I have finished dyeing all of these clothes and I'm actually wearing one of them. This is what used to be that mauve-y t-shirt. So I really, really love how this one turned out. This is probably one of my favorite colors to wear. And at first I didn't know what I thought about this like stitching. So kind of is more of an accent stitch now, which I actually really like. I do only wear this casually. So I think that the stitching actually kind of adds a little extra flair. So I do have this whole stack right here. And then I also folded up this super bright white tank top that I have just to kind of show the difference. I don't know how well this camera is going to be picking up off-white versus true white, but let's get started. Okay, so first we have this little boxy striped t-shirt, and now it is an off-white and black, which I don't know if you can tell, but it looks so much better. It isn't like a bright white like it used to be, and this is just with the tea dyeing. And then this is what it looks like next to a bright white. So as you can see, it's like pretty subtle difference, but it is just a lot better for my skin tone than this white. Okay, and next we have this long sleeve t-shirt, and now it is off-white. And then here is the difference between the white and off-white. So it is pretty subtle, but it makes a big difference when I'm wearing it. And then just to finish off all of the white things, I also did my pants. So this is what they look like now. My goal was to make them the same color as the button so that the button actually matched the pants. And I would say that that's about as close as it's gonna get. So these are a much better color for me. I do think that they're gonna go with so many more things, because in the summer I do like to wear a lot of like white and white, but most of my white tops are an off-white. So these will go with all of my white tops now. And I just feel like I'm gonna live in these all summer. And I will say, I actually had to do these twice because the first time they were the perfect color. I went downstairs to wash them and I realized that I had a little bit of red dye like under my fingernail, and I ended up smearing it all over these pants while trying to transfer them to the washing machine. So I had to bleach them, and then I had to do the whole process all over again. So I'm really glad that I did them again. I was really scared that I had ruined them forever, but bleach works. All right, so here we have the black t-shirt that I bleached, and it does have these like cool little crinkles in it. They turned out a little bit more graphic than I was expecting, but I do think they're really cool. So yeah, this just bleached into this really nice kind of rusty chocolatey brown, and this suits me a lot better than black. Okay, so now it's the sweatshirt that originally inspired this video. I really like how this turned out. So this is the color. It's just this nice kind of sandy tan beige. It isn't as dark as I was going for originally, but I do really love how it turned out. I feel like it just suits my skin tone a lot more. And this is just one of those tans that actually looks good on me. I do think if I had made it a little bit darker, I would have liked it even more, but I do really like it. It's just a nice neutral sweatshirt that actually goes with the rest of my features. All right, so that's everything that I dyed. Now I'm tempted to go through my clothes again and just like find more stuff that I can dye. It was so much fun, and I do feel like now I'm just gonna wear these so much more often. All right, well that was really fun, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys that if you have been exploring some seasonal color analysis lately, and if you've realized that a bunch of the clothes in your wardrobe don't really suit you in terms of the color, you don't have to get rid of them. I mean, first, if you still like them, then wear them, of course. But if you're finding yourself not wearing them because they never make you feel good, then you should totally just try to dye them. I will say, since I'm in autumn, one of the muted seasons, so summer and autumn are the two muted seasons, I do think it was easier for me. It's a lot more forgiving when you're doing muted colors, because if you're trying to take something from one color to an entirely different color, you're going to get some neutral tones in there just from mixing those colors. But if you are a spring or a winter, since all those colors are going to be brighter and clearer, you might have a harder time achieving those bright colors while dyeing your clothes at home. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for more videos from me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. If you liked this video, please like this video. And if you didn't like this video, then I hope you like the next one. All right, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye.